last time, I did the third stream doing Rat Boss stuff, and that was the like focusing on visual stuff. I gave him like a squish animation, because he's made up of a lot of, oops, hit the mic there. Because he's made up of a lot of parts. There was some problem with scaling, so dealing with that. The Rat Boss is done enough, I would say, to just be finished up offline. Its difficulty scaling is not very good. Here, I can just actually play through it for fun. Difficulty scaling not good at all, probably not correct. Just spamming too much, and there's still the rat delay thing. Where'd it go? Oh, I had the game window popped out. I think I'm gonna have the game window popped out now. I prefer it. Plus 50, no. Not really like in the know on Pokemon stuff. I'm not on like Reddit. Yeah, so wouldn't have seen it in those types of channels. Yeah, so there's too much going on. It's spawning too many things. I think that things are telegraphed enough. That like you have decent warning, but there's still just like too much going on, and there's not like enough of an invincibility window from multi-hit protection, so you just get blasted if you get blasted by one of these piles. Is it just I imagine like a plus custom Pokemon mod is pretty common. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that because there already is a phase system we can hook into there. So that's the kind of stuff that I don't want to iterate through offline, because I feel like it's a lot of like guess and like playtest and do stuff, and just like tweak values for a while. And I feel like it's better to like actually make new things. How do I get this to be? Oh, not free aspect. There we go. Damn. I've got him at least one before. Yeah. Something like that. It needs a more gradual introduction of difficulty. But I was just hopping in there to talk about what I did last time. It's not what I'm doing this time. I feel like I said, I think that those kinds of like tweaks and trying to get a better difficulty tuning is not awesome to stream. I like to like do things I can, like whole features I can do from beginning to end. And that's just a lot of guess and check, and I have no idea how long it's gonna take. But the other stuff I did offline, so yeah, Visual Rat Boss, it has all the functions it needs to fully work. Basically, everything is hooked up properly, but it very little design consideration has been put in at this point, which I'll probably do offline. Maybe I'll come back to it on stream. I don't know. Also, one-way platforms. Been talking about doing this for a while. Definitely makes the beginning a lot easier. You can jump up a lot faster. Vine Grow Sync. Cool, man. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. Vine Grow Sync. We have that like background vine growing up. Here, I can hop in. We have that background vine growing up, and before it was like a separate thing between the platform spawn and the vine spawn. But I changed it so that I guess two things. First, the vine is always going to outrun the player. It's like it knows how far ahead of the player it is, so it's always going to be above it. It'll go faster if it needs to, if the player's catching up. But then also, you can only see it in the tile map ones because I don't have a sprite one for the one-way platform yet. But these tile map based platforms like are horizontally starting their grow animation as the vertical gets there. I like that. So it's pretty close to the effect I was looking for. One-way platforms, you can just hop up really quick. But see, even as I face basically no resistance, I'm just hopping up really fast. I don't think I will ever be able to catch up with the vine here. But having one-way platforms in the mix also makes it just easier. There's a tighter like spawn area a little bit. The platforms are slightly smaller to accommodate for that tighter spawn area. I was sometimes seeing platforms spawn right up against blasted. Right up against shops, so you couldn't actually enter shops and stuff. So I might have to mix them up some more, because like now that the positions are more discrete. I don't know. You need to be able to get in shops. These sides and these other side stuff. So yeah, these like platformy type changes is what I did offline. And one-way platforms. Wow, that thing, I was going so fast, the death box was so far below me. But we're not doing main level stuff today either. Doing new boss. This B boss. This is the idea. Got a guy in the middle you gotta jump into, but they got a rotating ring of little like defenders. The defenders will peel off, go with the player, so there's like fewer and fewer things. Eventually you hit them, can do the damage. And have a wall attack with like a gap. And also this is like the idea of an orbit attack where they come in from the side when they would enter like a position on the orbit, do a full 360 around that position, and then exit again. I'm not sure how that's going to work. It's just like a combination of behaviors. I'll be interested to see how that actually plays out in practice. But like that's, if I already have rotation movement and I already have this kind of stuff, it's just, you know, using those same pieces for something else. So yeah, B-Boss is the plan today. So first we're just gonna make an arena. Then, you know, just add a little bit by bit. So I don't want to do too much preamble here. I'm just going to start doing stuff. So arena with one-way platforms. We just want to duplicate our boss test level, I think. Rename boss test to boss test dash rat. This will be boss test dash B. Okay. So yeah, this is just the rat level for now. But I don't need these. I don't need like the sides either. I probably want a more stable base because this is intended to allow the jumpy boys to jump across. Might even use one-way platforms in the rat level too, but I'm not right now. So let's let's creep back the wall here. Let's get rid of this. Oh, whoops. I like never know something is a new key combination by accident. This probably not needed. We can just go all the way down to the bottom. Same deal on this side. We'll have a gap, but mainly a extended center platform. So need more. Two. Those gaps. Creep back this wall. This one. That should be, oh wait, we need down here too. That one I wanted. Okay. Okay, let's make sure that looks right on camera. Oh crap. Alright, we're still sawing the rat. And I guess it might be from the screen shake, but I can kind of see the bottom here. I'm gonna just move the space platform down one. And add one more layer on the walls. Layer down slightly. Okay. Now, boss controller. This, I think this is going to be a good reference, but not going to look to generalize this time. It might even be generalized offline. We're going to make our own like B controller, and then like see the extent to which they share functionality at a later time. So yeah, we can do C# script, call it BBoss controller. Rid of this. Some children particle systems I don't need right now. You're not there, why not? Throwing hammer, cause not sure. Go back. Might just need to have saved. What if I compile? Oh, that's why. Whatever this compiler is. Okay, now it should compile, and then we can add our BBoss controller. Oh wait, I don't need to be doing. Hold on. We do want a boss controller, but first let's finish this area. It's not going to be like this. Yeah, I'm getting distracted. I need to one thing at a time here. So let's go to our platforms and find some of these to drop in. Maybe like that. I don't know, let's see how jumping around is. Maybe slightly, they should be slightly closer and maybe do 3 rounds. But the horizontal is fine. Let's give them a parent. And let's just use some real numbers. So 9.5, 0, 8, negative, or negative 7. And I want this previous one to move up a little, to the left a little, so you can like more reasonable to jump up into it. Whoops, I lost my mouse. There it is. All right. Negative 8.5, that's fine. And we'll go more to the left here. Negative 10, this is fine. Negative 10, 9. Negative 8.5, I guess. Why are these off? Down, something like this. I get them, I'll drag them roughly to where I, oops, that's not what I want to grab. I want to grab the parent. And maybe one in the middle and two. And now I'll go and just put them to like the closest reasonable thing. Oh, the parent is on something dumb, that's why. Unfortunate, because now I have to move all fucking back down. That's fine. Be a little bit more like this. And it's fine. Okay. Now let's snap these. 4.25, negative 10. 8.5, negative 5. Oh yeah, I have to also catch these Z problems as well. It's not even like a optional thing. 5.75, negative 1, 0. 8.5, 5, 0. Negative 1.75, 5, 0. 7.5, I guess. 7.5. Alright, we don't have a Ratman spawning. It's pretty jumpable, it seems to me. Why am I getting... What is this? Oh, I forgot. I have the invisible walls from the... Rat Boss has invisible walls, so you can't go in those cubbies. See? This and this. This probably will need a visual. I feel like you got the full freedom of movement here. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Let's cross that off. Main wandering boss. Okay, so just want basically a circle. I'll put the sprite in at the end, but like let's just get a circle wandering around this arena. I think I might already have the like components to do this relatively easily, but let's see. I call this B-boss 000 components Q move. Let's just do translation because it'd be like flying. And Q MDC for movement controller. I'm pretty sure wander is one. Yeah. And then to limit it to the bounds of the arena, we just add a MCL movement clamper AABB. And it looks like it's 12 in both directions. If I want to go up here, be like 13, and this would be like, okay, 13, negative 12.5 is probably fine. Okay. So it is like 11.5, 12.5. Okay. A lot of sprite just so we can see it. circle. Slightly bigger. All right, so it should just wander around the arena basically, but not like wander out of the arena. Ooh, this is, so what's happening here is it's like constantly re-rolling a direction, like just too fast. So it needs to have a slower direction pick, so that it actually like goes a direction and like different direction. When it's re-rolling a direction like every little bit of a frame or whatever, you just get that like erratic, shaky behavior like that. I hit the play button by accident. All right. Update type normal. Okay, this needs a timer. If a timer index is -1, that just means every frame. So I need Q time float duration 3 seconds, let's say, plus or minus 1 second on that random buffer. So between every 2 and 4 seconds, it should pick a new direction. Oh. And I also need to tell it to use that timer. So I go from -1 to 0. Yeah, see, so it picks a direction, not going out of the edges. I think it needs to be slightly more frequent than this. And it might need something to bounce it. I think I have like a on clamp OCL. Destroy on clamp isn't what I want, but I thought I had like a bounce. What is this bounce? I think that's like a fetal direction. Look at what this does. Okay, well, kinematic rigid bodies, well, when your movement is clamped, what do you do? Calculate a bounce vector? Oh, so you just reflect on collision. Okay, I think this is what I want. This reroll direction on timer gives me the same wander behavior. And we can just make that slightly lower. Right, we said it's too long. So we'll do 2 seconds plus or minus half a second. Bounce. What timer do you want? I don't think you need a timer. And then we get rid of wander. Okay. Kinda. Maybe it needs to be even more frequent than that, or maybe slightly different and from wander in a way I'm not understanding. I don't know. Let's see with a lower but still reasonable frequency. Yeah, I mean, maybe it should only be moving like this sometimes. It should probably like stay still during attacks or something. I think as like an idle, this is fine-ish. I don't know. Let's get that sprite in really quick. So I already did it. So yeah, the same like lines pack I'm using, that's Vexed Retro lines, has these guys that go with it. So we're already using the chickens, we're already using the rats. They have this bee type thing or like a bug. I'm doing it as a bee. I think it's fine for that. Maybe I give it a stripe. I don't know, but so we got this as like the sort of ad bee, and then I just basically made it fat and gave it a little crown to be the king bee, queen bee. So let's save this. Let me get the, because I have no idea what it would be. Not OBS infrared log. Let's say E. Game dev. Game jams. I think this would be under. Yeah, Brackeys. Uh, assets. Graphics. Okay. And is there a boss? There's enemies. It's fine for enemies. There's only 2 things in there so far. Alright, let's copy that. E queen. Okay, we need to do the follow-up on that to tell it it's an animation. So we go to graphics, sprites, enemies, B queen, set it to 32 pixels per unit. I guess 16 because I want it to be double sized. No filtering, no compression, and it's multiple. Apply sprite editor. Can you just auto slice this? No, it's not really what I want. There we go. There's like a line in it. I'm seeing a line. Maybe it's just an artifact. All right, so is our B. We have to make that an animation though. So let's go to our B boss. Add an animator. Add a. Just open up the animation window, which I think is Control-6. Yeah. Create. Oh wait, I need to select B boss, then hit create. Go back up to animation. A new folder for B boss. Just call it idle. Sprite. Just grab our frames, dump them in here, and just spread them out because that is going to be way too fast. Up. What happened? I messed it up. I got 1, 2. There. Okay. Go to the animator. Here's the animation controller. Or no? He's not happy with me? Yeah, so if I try and open up the animation controller, it just crashes. Let's try closing the animator window. There's chicken. E-boss? There we go. Second time's a charm. Yeah, idle is the entry state, but it needs to have its time way reduced probably. And then you set like the base sprite as well. Not animating. Am I dumb? Why? Where's my animation window? Zero. Oh, what? I don't know what happened there. Try saving it again. Maybe it was in the animation mess up. Got lost as a consequence. There we go. Something, the timing is wrong. Mess it up. It just does need to be faster. And accidentally clicking like the pause button or something like that. Kill me. I think something might be slightly wrong with this animation. Da-da-da-da. Same thing. No, it looks fine. I know I've used this before. Maybe it just needs to be faster. Should be 2.5 times faster. No, that's definitely on it. Okay, this is now 50% faster than the original. Yeah, that's okay. There's something weird with that animation. I'll have to look at it. But I'm not sure what it is. So, just like seeing if I significantly deviated from the base at all. It doesn't seem like it. I don't want to get hung up on it right now. It's fine. Oh yeah, that looks pretty much right. Be even slightly slower than that. Maybe you need another up in there. I think it needs another up frame, but I'm not gonna fix it right now. I'm gonna fix it offline probably. But I'm gonna call that for the basic wander behavior. It's bouncing around the arena. I think that's done enough. Okay. Orbiting ads. That is, hold on. Yeah, orbiting ads is for just like the main shield thing. I know that, see if I already have a thing that does this. I don't think I do because it is kind of like weird. Yeah, it doesn't look like I do. But I know I had this behavior in one of my other games. I think. Let me double check if I can find that really quick. Dev. Yeah, oh, there, assets, scripts, enemy, circle patrol. This is what I need. Okay, let's see if I was smart or dumb. Circle patrol has a radius, a speed, share, sprite renderer, probably to do flipping. Initials, spawn pos, I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe for like picking your circle. This CCW probably means counterclockwise. Get your sprite, get your position, pick something random. To calculate a time offset and then just set a local position. Or I guess a global position, but it could be a local position. Okay. I think I'm gonna grab this and modify it. I think I guess the only difference is it'll be a local position. I'll make them children of the E Queen. Because then they can just always orbit 0, 0. So make a new object that will be our orbiting B orbit add. I'll say B orbiter. Set the stuff to 0, back to the scene, add a sprite renderer. Just going to start with a circle. Make it a red circle though. Add a new component, I guess assets, scripts, bosses. No, is there enemies? I guess it'd be under spawnable. Animal. Yeah. Create CR sharp script. Circle patrol. Here, now it's this other one. I don't think it's gonna go like that. This is fine. This is fine. Sure. Fine. Okay, so this should just work. I mean, it's not local yet, so it'll just be the start position. Well, let's see if it circle patrols the start position. Circle patrol. That is a circle. I think we've done it. Next, we just drag this up into the B-boss so it's in orbit. And now it should follow them around. Oh, I might need to update it to say local position. We'll see. Yeah, it needs to be local position. Local position. How it is? What's your problem? No, you're good. You're happy. All right. So the hope is we now orbit the bee queen as she flies around. I think it's right. Sometimes is like when they move, it sometimes looks weird. But I think that's just as a result of the boss's like movements. I don't know, let's see. The way to really test if this is gonna be doing what I want it to do is between 0 and pi. Really? Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, sure. Let's say initial rotation is 0. And then private bool initial rotation, and these should be serialized. Usually you can code that with like, oh, I'll ignore -1, but like, there's a chance I would want -1 or 0 to be my initial rotation. I guess yeah, initial rotation is fine. Okay. So here, I should add in radians. Here we do use initial rotation, else. So yeah, if you want to use initial rotation, save it to this. Otherwise, set it to pi, or a random number between 0 and pi radians. Technically, it should be pi, right? It's like a full cycle. It doesn't matter because we're going to specify, because we want like a train of guys that are slightly offset from each other. And you know what? I also, second. Pop. Oops, I have the wrong thing copied. I'm going to copy these beats. All right, here we set it to, okay, it's radians. What is 30? Well, I guess I'll just do 2 pi divided by, I don't know, 6. 1.047. 209. Times 3 is 3.14, it's just pi. It's 4.18. I feel like my math teacher would be disappointed in me. One of my math teachers was like really into knowing a bunch of like trig estimates in your head. Like he just randomly stop his lecture and point at a kid and be like, "What's the sign of 60 degrees or something?" Alright, that is pretty much what I'm looking for. Oh, I just fell off. Except one of my two boys overlapped. I feel like I missed one. I should have checked. This one? Oh. Must be the 0? Let's pause. Yeah, what's going on here? Doing this right? Oh, that was just random luck. Was it? Okay. It just looked right before because, hey, if you spawn a bunch of random points, they'll probably spawn-ish around a circle. But I didn't check the use initial rotation box. Alright, yeah, they got an. This is pretty much what I envisioned. Maybe I would have the circle like going in and out a little bit. But I don't know. Let's what do I have on my thing? Orbiting ads? Yeah, so let's see their sprite as well. Let's just go to paint. Sprites, enemies, the drone. Pack B. Warrior? Drone is fine. Maybe it's the lines I added that makes it look weird. That could be it. And we'll see. I'm gonna add in the guy. Graphics, not animation. Enemies. Drone is a multiple, size 16, no filtering, no compression. Apply, and let's go slice it. Okay, it is sliced. And add an animator to my B orbiter. Open up the animator window. Create a new animation. Just gonna make folders for everything now. I don't know if it will have a second animation, but I'm leaving it open. Idle. You're at 2.5, I think. Copy this to the rest of the boys. I don't need to. I'll make it a prefab in a second. If it looks right. My sprite. Pretty small. Ooh, I don't want to lose my pi values. But yeah, let's go to save it as a prefab, then I'll do duplicates, and then I'll get rid of the non-prefabs. So it'll need to be under the resources folder because we probably want the ability to dynamically spawn them. Oh, they were half size, that's why they're small. One, two, yeah. Let's rename these. Okay, and then 1.047, 209. I can remember a couple. 3.14, 4.18, 5.23. 4.18, 5.18, 5.23, and then it's easy to remember pi at 3.4. And then we can get rid of our non-prefab boys. So now our orbiters should all be the B sprite and animating. Oh wait, they should not be flipping Y. Maybe they should? It looks pretty dumb. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is pretty much my concept. Cool. Let's undo the flip Y aspect of it if we can. Flip Y. Yeah. Just didn't mean to restart the game. Do that. Move these serialized fields to the top. And these probably should also be serialized fields. I think their current speed and radius is fine. And let's maybe make them follow a little bit tighter, a little bit quicker. But they should be serialized fields. And then the other one is like should flip X and should flip Y. Cool, and should flip X. Just set it to the initial values we want. Be false. Not now. If m should flip X m should Y. All right, so since the default value is what we want, we shouldn't have to do anything. It should just be right. We shouldn't be flipping upside down anymore. Oh, I forgot I left this open. They should just be flipping X. Yeah, it fell off. Yeah, it looks right to me though. Oh wait, the main B lady should be flipping too. How do we get that working? I didn't care about it before, but I'm noticing it so much now that that she is the other guys are flipping. But yeah, I think all right, not this. So yeah, I already have built-in like helper components to just do this. I'll give her a concept of a facing, which will just already look at her direction stuff. Yeah, see, there we go. Cool. What's next? One thing I notice I don't like is there's sometimes behind the platform they probably are on the same layer. Let's get rid of that. How do I do that? Oh, right. I just go in here and I say like, what do I say? On the sprite render, I just have to turn up its order in the layer. Say like 10 and 9. See, but they always show up on top now. Cool, cool. Call that done. All right. Cool stuff. Orbiting add peel off. So let me go back to the paint diagram. The idea here is that with all those boys orbiting like that, you could never hit the queen and deal damage. But if they are peeling off to like fly in your direction, um, that uh that would what's the word? Like, oh, I guess it would like use up the shield basically to make it easier over time. Also provide some threat. You can't just stand around if the wander isn't like rolling in your direction. So I think this is where we need to move to the boss controller. Um, so let's go ahead. The benefit of the boss controller is you have like, if you spawn the thing, you can hold on to it. You can say like, I have all the bees, and I can tell a bee to go get them, go peel off. I have like all the if I'm responsible for spawning the object, then I for sure like have references to all the objects I care about. So we wanna move our B boss into a prefab, and then we delete it from the level, and I don't need this anymore. I need this. These maybe, but B boss is the main. All right, B boss. I hate these comments. But on start, we would private game object m queen b. Queen b is, I need a serialized field, private game object m queen b prefab. Copy this to also have m orbit drone prefab. Queen b is instantiate. Instantiate. Aha, I was just missing that one. And queen bee prefab. Whatever, 0, 0, it's probably fine now. then I guess I need all her like default children. Maybe I should just spawn them in code. Because like having these like 6 children or whatever initially is a convenience, but like I can just do that. I know what pi is in code. So I can just do something like private array list game object m orbiting bees. Oh, I don't want to list. I just want to list. Okay. Then we constant k num starting bees 6 for and I equals 0. I less than k num starting bees plus I. Well, why am I? This is lazy. Let's just put it. I want like all these controls at top level. So, you know, if I hop in, I don't have to like, if eventually there's a lot in here, I don't want to have to find start. Like, where exactly am I setting the starting bees? Just all the constants at the top. Starting bees. Okay. Then we do M orbiting bees. Or I guess let's grab this instantiate thing. And var orbiting B M orbit turn prefab, and then orbiting B dot a component circle patrol. Circle patrol. Circle patrol dot set or yeah, I need a function to actually do that. Public void set initial rotation. Float rod. And then I'm gonna re-roll the timer. So I just let's also unity assert. I don't have assert. Assertions. You should be using initial rotation if you're calling it in this way. Is it Unity Engine, I guess? Assert? It's true. Alright. There's that helper function I can call. Set rotation I mathf.py I divided by of Canum starting these times I. I should just have that up. I don't think these prints actually matter. It's okay. Okay. So what should happen? We have deleted Queen Bee from the level. Unity ever loads. May well load one day. Very good, responsive. Alright, so yeah, we are moving Queen Bee, so if I hop in, maybe it'll spawn a new one at 0, 0. And it should spawn all its children as well, and they should still have those pi offsets. Okay, it didn't do that, but I don't think I actually put the B boss on anything. So let's do that now. B boss. And point it to the prefabs. Assets, I guess. Yeah. B boss. B. Okay, we forgot to set the parentage, and also we're doing, you can see it's a semicircle because we're doing, what's the word? Pi instead of 2 pi. Fine too. What else I need to fix? All right, parentage. So that's just doing Queen Bee. I guess before I set the thing, I should do M Queen Bee. Transform children or add child. Or no, I go the other way. I say orbiting bee, a parent. Or I guess set parent. If you have a set parent, I will do that, yes. Orbiting bee. Oh, I guess that transform. Or no, queen bee. Okay, so hopefully they will spawn around the full circle. They'll be slightly bigger. I didn't realize they were inheriting some of the queen bee scale, but it makes sense because it's hierarchical. Let's see. One day it'll load. Right. They're still small. Sure why. Maybe they're half sizing the prefab, but they spawned in the right position and rotation. So no. I guess I just need to do what? Everything be a transform scale equal. What's that? One day. Like, oh. The engine people will say like, no, you're dumb. This is why it has to be this way, but does it really need to wait 5 minutes? Not 5 minutes, I'm over exaggerating. Like, legitimately, we're waiting here 15 seconds. My like dumb little C# project? Okay, that's not it either. think they just need to have a normal scale after the parenting, like scale. And like I changed a number and a constant, right? Yeah, a literal. That should be like your test case for fastest possible recompile. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. So now we want our guys to peel off. And we have them in this list so we can find one. But they need the capability to do it. So let's see what kind of movement controllers. Yeah, so I think we just need a couple things. We need this move specific direction where I'm just gonna. So yeah, the ability to move in a specific direction, that's what this is. The movement, like the standard movement component to back it. And then a controller that says like, okay, here's your time. Turn off your circle patroller, unparent yourself, and move in this specific direction. So yeah, Q move I movement. Or Q move, I guess translation is fine. But we disable it and we add a Q move or Q MVC specific direction. We disable that as well. So now I'm going to restart the game and nothing should happen. They should keep doing their translation-based orbits. Unit circle translation orbits around their parent. Yep, that's what we got. Cool. So now all we need is that controller component. So that I think should probably be under bosses, because it's specific to this interaction. Where if we reuse like the enemies, they probably won't do this, because they won't be orbiting stuff. Maybe they will. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the folder I choose to put this script in is pretty close to inconsequential. Create it B boss orbiter, or I guess orbit. B boss leave orbit. You're not loading for me. Alright, whatever. I just find it in the Explorer. Alright, B boss leave orbit. So needs to do just needs a public function that that boss controller is gonna call. Well, hold on, I'll need start. But stay here, start. Get rid of this, get rid of this. We have a public void leave dude, why? Orbit. And you can just pass it the direction. Dude, my typos are so bad. But on start, we want to get all those components we care about. So we get our circle control, our movement interface, and our movement controller to move in a specific direction. And direction. Fine. So on start, let's get these. movement interface, and the thing that calls the movement interface. Move direction. MVC, specific direction. Okay. So on leave orbit, we disable the circle patrol. We enable the other two movement things. And we set the direction. Enable true. All right. So let's just force that to compile, hop back into the level for a second. Nothing should happen because we didn't actually give this guy this component and we never called this function. Again, like, did I really do so much that it takes 15 seconds to compile? All right, yeah, so everything continuing to work as before seems fine to me. Cool. So now let's go to our orbiter here, give him our new behavior thing. So like orbit or something, bboss leave orbit. And then in the boss controller, this is the wrong boss controller. This other boss controller. On update, I'm just gonna throw something in here. I know I said before it was lazy, but I'm just testing. I would probably use a phase system in the future. No, I talked myself out of it right there. Private, const float k, I don't know, leave orbit frequency, let's say 1.5 seconds. And then a non-constant to just have a leave timer. Leave orbit timer plus equals time.delta time if it is greater than or equal to the frequency. Then we set the timer back to 0. And we tell one of our bees. So they're being, okay, first we spawn them here, but we never added them to our list thing. So let's do that. Add orbiting bee. And then we look at our list here. Orbiting bees dot count. So int index random. Can I index a list? Maybe. Probably in C#, right? That's range inclusive. It's fine. Remove that. Oh, it doesn't give me the item. Hello, Julio Sombach? Hello. I don't know how common it is, but I just think of it as like my. So like for class variables would be my queen bee, my orbiting bees. So yeah, that's just a pattern I use for member variables. Member could be another use for M, where K is constant. It's not like required or anything. It's just like a personal preference type thing. You know, then I can also like from an IntelliSense perspective, I'm like, oh, what's on this class? I can do M underscore. I can see there are all the class members right there. Anyway, we want to pick a random bee. So M orbiting bees. Can I just index it? Yeah, I can. Leave orbit B. Leave orbit B dot get component. Like bboss leave orbit or something. Yep. Leave orbit. And then what's the problem? Why don't you like this? Oh, you need a direction. Okay. Here's the thing. We're also gonna need the player. Which is fine when we're in a boss controller like this. Because now we can just get the player's direction. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, maybe that's where I first saw it, and that's why I picked it up. I don't know. But no, it's just like a style preference. Um, so the direction is the player's position minus my current position. Or no, I guess the B queen B dot transform dot position. And then the normalized version of that. Well, I bet I normalize it. Famous last words. I bet I normalize that vector. Why is this randomly going 5 times faster? Okay, so every second and a half that script should trigger, and um, we should peel off one of our. Ooh, that did not work. Oh well, I didn't give it the player prefab. The fact that it triggered that many times is worrying. Oh, I need to also make my list. There you go. That's something I missed. And then I also need to give the boss controller reference to the player. Oh wait, is that an asset? I want the scene player. Okay, yeah, it is. All right. Hopefully no crashes. These peel off at us. Well, I already lost one. Okay. Clearly, hold on. What is happening, D-boys? Oh, are you? You're in like negative a billion? Something is wrong. But the one thing at least that's wrong is I need to deparent them. So that would be transform.parent equals null, I think. Set parent null. I don't know if that's actually the syntax to remove a parent, but syntax to do it definitely exists. And if it crashes, then I'll go find the other one. Okay, so I think the fact that they were in like hundreds probably means something wrong here. But one problem is they do need to leave the parentage of the thing. Just step through, see if I can see the frame where we lose them. Okay. I think it's not being normalized is part of it, but maybe their move speed is just way too fast. Let's normalize to be safe here. Okay. And then the other thing is let's significantly reduce the specific direction move speed of our beams. I guess 5 units per second. The whole screen is only 15 units still. It seems like they were being lost in like a second. Okay, so prefabs. Enemies. That's collectible. Enemies. B orbiter. Set a move speed to like 0.5. I don't know. Be super slow. Oh, whoops, we're still in the game. Alright. So B orbiter. Much slower movement speed factor of 10. Let's see if that's a significant difference. There might be a problem elsewhere. I don't know. The fact that I already lost one. I don't know. See, there now it's way too slow. Try something in the middle. Although I think there is a bug here I'm not seeing. Other than just like tweaking move speed values. mean, I guess that looks kind of right. How's it? Maybe it just didn't save before. Now this seems like way too. Now I want to put it like up to 10. That's another problem with the. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Maybe even slightly faster than that. And they should probably have a correct flip. Then we blast the queen, it'll deal some damage, and she'll spawn a new wave of boys. But for now, let's just turn up this slightly and add the facing thing. You update flip on facing change. Flip on right, yes, because they're facing left by default. Okay, looks good. Yeah, this is pretty much the behavior I intended. I guess the open question I have now is whether it's correct to have them sort of like snapshot their target like that, or whether I should have them track a little bit. I think it's fine as snapshot for now. I think that counts as the peel off. Main boss health damage, maybe we get here. I'm gonna put this after wall attack though. I feel like wall attack is the easier one. Oh, whoops, let me hop back. Yeah, wall attack. So, back to our paint drawing here. The idea here is we do like horizontal walls of bees with some portion of the wall missing. So there is a safe spot, but they otherwise are like drawing a line across the screen in a formation. So all we need to do is like duplicate our B orbiter here. Call it B Waller, I guess. Give him a slightly different color just to help myself distinguish. And then we keep this, get rid of the orbit thing. Make specific direction enabled by default and the movement enabled by default. Decrease the speed of the movement slightly. The animation we still want, circle patrol we want to get rid of. Okay. So the idea is we spawn a wall of these either on the right or on the left, and they like basically march across the screen in a line. So we'll need another prefab saved in our B-Boss controller. Wall drone prefab. So let's add that connection right now while we're thinking about it. Boss controller, there it is. Waller or B something? Oh, I need to switch it over to assets. Wall? B Waller. Okay. Now here, let's add a function. Wall attack. Let's go into our scene really quick to just get an idea of the bounds. So let's grab our player as like a measuring stick here. So player starts at -13. The top of the map is like 13. We can do -12 to 12. And then it's -12 on the side as well, so. Private, float, K, wall attack, vertical range, 12.5. And we'll, oops. K, wall attack, start X, 14. Because we want them like well off the screen, and then they come onto the screen. Okay. So let's do a 50-50 coin flip. B spawn on left side is random.range from 0 to 2 exclusive equals 0. That's 50-50. So then we do, I guess we need one more constant here, and these aren't actually constants. We need the, oops. K wall attack gap range. Say like 4.5. Yeah, we'll see. We can tweak it. So, and I guess one more is the space between. Should be much slower though. Okay. Now, those are all the constants we need. So let's like start getting the positions. I basically want to, I guess, a while loop I think would be good here. Float m current spawn m current spawn y starts at a negative k wall attack vertical range, and then while its current spawn y is less than k wall attack vertical range, at the bottom of this while loop we do current spawn y plus equals k wall attack space between. So basically we're going to march up this y coordinate from bottom to top, and then stop when we're at the top. But we also needed this gap. So the gap, I think, we just like randomly roll it, right? So do something like on the left side, I'll put all the random stuff up here. Float gap start y is something between the total vertical range which is twice 2 of these from positive to negative, minus the range of the gap. So this is like how much space we have available to pick, right? So the idea here is like, this is color and like a way bigger brush. So if this is 0, and then you have positive range and negative range, so this whole thing is 2 range, and we want to subtract off this gap height. So 2R minus this gap height is like space where B should be spawned. Or like this gap could be inserted anywhere in those spaces, right? And it'll fill out the total 2R. So gap start Y range. So the gap can be between this. Why is this 4 point? Oh, this should be this. So that's the range. And then we do random float gap start Y is random dot range between 0 gap start Y range, and then we subtract off the wall set, right? That's basically putting it back to positive, negative. And then the float gap end Y is just gap start Y plus K wall attack vertical range. Or no, this is the gap. K wall attack gap range. So we have the start and the end. And then what we do is we say if current spawn Y is greater than the start, but less, and also less than the end, then we do nothing. Continue. Oh wait, not continue. We still do this. So really, we probably want the inverse of this check. I guess current spawn Y needs to be less than the gap start or greater than the gap end. Because yeah, we want to do something, and that something spawn our wall drone prefab. Wall drone is instantiate wall drone prefab. Oh, let's get the X position as well. Float spawn X is, we spawn on the left side, and it's negative whatever, not the vertical, the other one, K start X, else the positive version of this. Okay. So then we, here in our loop, we can get a position. On pos is that X and our current spawn Y. We make our drone that position. So we need quaternion identity as well to get the right overload here. Okay. So that spawns the wall drone. Then we have to tell the wall drone what direction to go. We do wall drone there equals wall drone. Get components. QMVC specific direction. And we say this direction, set direction. If we randomly rolled spawn on left side, and we want to go to the right, else we want to go to the left. Okay, I think that's everything. Now we just need to call that. And also this timer should start at 0. I was wondering why a B was peeling off right in the beginning. Okay, and we're just gonna do it every time a B peels off for simplicity. So wall attack. All right, let's see. This would definitely probably kill me pretty quickly here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to survive these walls every 1.5 seconds, but we'll see what the tuning values actually like lead to. My player, I was using as a measuring stick. I gotta put back in a spot position. Yeah. Okay. Peel off. Oh, there's too many. Oh, they can't actually hit me, but the math works, right? They're too fast and too dense, and they probably need to be a little bit higher and a little bit lower. But I like it. So what we're gonna do is all those tweaks. So move speed 10, let's move like half of that even. Let's increase the total range. Maybe to this. That's fine. This is fine, but we're also going to increase the gap range and increase the space between. Let's see. Hopefully it'll look a bit more reasonable there. It's still going to be like basically impossible to actually dodge when it's firing every second and a half, but that's just like a testing thing. Yeah, I mean, that might be slightly too slow, but that's pretty much what I wanted. It's hard to know when it's like not even close to a See, that is realistic. Let's just split the difference. See if I can jump around. I think it's not the same every time. It was just bad luck. I could probably set it up so there are 2 gaps in the beginning and then only 1 gap at the end, like a phase and rage thing. But I mean, we now have the technology, right, to make this wall however we want. The point was the writing the wall. So I'm gonna call that done on the wall. Okay. So I think probably because this orbit player attack is actually kind of a can of worms problem. I mean, we'll see if this is really easy. But yeah, here I want this interaction where player hopping into the queen hurts the queen. I'll probably give the orbiters hurting the player as well. And then also respawns her shield in a correct rotation offset, so it still like starts out as good coverage. So first step, let's make these B orbiters deal damage. I'm gonna steal the knockback trigger here from the chicken. 1 damage to the player, but don't destroy yourself. Don't only fire once. Not this. I changed my mind. Just reduce that delay. Reduce the knockback significance. Check the collider. Is it fine? See it. Oh, it's on a weird offset. Oh, good thing I checked. You get slightly more forgiving. The damage box. Okay. So now that B orbiter should be able to hurt us. Not these wall bees, but the orbiter bee. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't make a sound. It usually makes a sound. Whatever. It hit me. I only have 2 hits left. They're multi-hitting me, I think. But they hit me. That's the point. So need something for the queen as well. Now we need the other way for the queen. E-boss. Let's give her a child collider here. Deal damage collider. Box collider. We move it slightly. This you'd be slightly more generous because it's damaging the boss. Okay. And I think this also is going to need a kinematic rigid body. Send collisions. Set the collision layer to something the player enemy is probably correct. We have damage self on trigger enter here. This adds a health and like I don't know, 25. Damage self on trigger enter if it's the player. Only fire on enter, only hit for 1. Okay. Let me double check. Let's hook up the boss's health as well here with our sidebar. So yeah, I think we have our. I just have to set it. How am I doing that? Health bar or something? Boss health bar value to display. That active. Okay. So where's our boss health bar here? Boss health bar parent. The health bar is disabled. Sure. Value display is nothing right now, and the B is going to be spawned in. So we need to add the controller that reference. So let's go to the boss B controller. Serialize field, private, QHED, display. Or I guess it's a fill. I already know what it is. M boss health bar. What's the problem? QHED or it's just fill. Okay. And then on start here, M boss health bar value to display is equal to M queen bee component. Oh, I guess I should save the queen bee's health as well. Private, because I'm gonna need it. Subscribe to events and stuff, right? Or it's just gonna be a convenience to have it around. It's HEA health, M queen bee health, M queen bee health equals M queen bee dot get component Waha health. And I think that's on a child object, so we'll do get component in children. We then point the health bar to that and then tell the health bar to wake up. Game object. Okay. So get the queen bee's health, connect the health bar and the health, and then activate the health bar. Let's also give some text. It says rats right now. I can make it say bees. When I look to do like a generic boss system with shared data and functionality type things, probably read this automatically and do this type of subscription automatically. I wanted to set up like at least 2, maybe even 3 bosses before then I look at like, okay, what's the best way to generalize here? What truly is shared? Anyway, here's our boss controller. Let's point to the health bar. And in our boss health text, we'll put bees. And I think we should actually be able to hit the dude already, or the lady, the queen bee. Oh. Yeah, if this wall was actually live, I'd be getting wrecked right now. Hey, where you going? Does not seem like she is getting hit by me. See why. Damage collider here. As a box collider. Set. As a kinematic rigid body. What does it need to be? Yeah, it needs to be a trigger. Try again. Okay. Let's bopper. Going, come back. Oh my god. Killing me. E-boss. Okay, confirm not happening, but why? Let's pause and make sure the scene reflects the prefab. Let's open up the damage collider here and see if the health is being decremented. Yeah, it says current value is 25, so this is not firing. I guess the next thing to double check is our player marked player? Yes, it is. Okay, in that case, we are just going to add a breakpoint to check if this is failing tag or if it's failing the default, isn't it? Someone can try. Yeah, I guess I want to see if it's the event isn't firing at all, or if it's failing the tag check. Oh, I need to go to the parent class here. Okay. Add our attach debugger. I feel like I always miss like one little step when setting up collision. Okay, we broke immediately. Just colliding with the world. Okay. So triggers are firing. I want to fix that to a different collision group. But it's just not the trigger we care about. Okay, wait. So it should be firing on trigger. Oh, this is hitting the player. This is hitting the player. This is damage other on trigger enter. Okay, so that was not actually working. It was just telling me about the it's just telling me about the player's existing damage that's happening. So yeah. Get out of this. And rerun. I want to double check on that. This first one, was that firing from the damage self script, or was that also from something else? Any day now, Unity. So, it's a good day to hate on Unity, probably. Everyone is not very happy with Unity right now. I forgot to attach. Means this is gonna. Did it work? Okay. So yeah, the damage self on trigger enter is firing. But it's firing damage self. Then, all right, I think it's just not tagged properly. Let's see. Or not tagged, like incorrect layering. Edit, project settings, collision matrix. One-way platform anchor, that's not important now. Looking at enemy. Enemy, death bubble, and world. Okay, I should have known. Yeah. Player doesn't collide with enemy. It only collides with enemy knockback trigger. Okay. So we switch this damage collider from enemy to enemy knockback trigger. And hopefully that should let the collision event fire, damage the B-boss, update the health bar, all the good things. A cascade of things just working. Just work TM. There's some pretty fair gaps. I think I would have gotten away with it. Alright, bro, I'm coming for you. Oh no, I failed. Ah. I didn't realize I had already double jumped. Maybe these infinite pits are too much. This maybe it should bounce you back for bosses. Instant death seems like a pretty hefty penalty. Especially if like these guys could knock you back. Maybe the wall won't knock you back. That could be one way to do it. Anyway, yeah, I'm hitting the B-boss. I'm pretty sure it's firing multiple times, but you can see the thing decreasing. So cool. But one thing I don't like about that is you need an invulnerability window. Like for a player, it's like a little thing. Like it's not that often that you're getting blasted by a million things. But since I want to be like completely invulnerable while it like refreshes its B shield here, because of that, I need the ability to set one. So I'm gonna go to damage here. Damage self on trigger enter. Add a serialized field, private float, and invulnerability window. Default to 0 so I don't mess up anything that already exists. But after this applied damage, we say mHealth vul allow or something. I might need to add something to health too. Yeah, there's nothing here. They protected Boolhem invulnerable. Say and not am invulnerable. And in our damage self thing, say am invulnerable. I think I made it private and I didn't add any getter or anything, so. Yeah, well protected. Oh yeah, I guess it's not the same thing. Public void set invulnerable in trying to hit enter, I'm hitting shift. Yeah. Alright, so this thing can say set invulnerable true. Or I guess set invulnerable if M invulnerability window is greater than 0. Set invulnerable to true. Then we have just like a little helper function that we can invoke. Set vulnerable. Set invulnerable false. So that's just invoke set vulnerable and invulnerability window. I think I want to add an event for that so I can like visual invulnerable changed. Vulnerable action. Vulnerable. And here in the setter, we can say if we're actually changing state. And we'll send out that event. there. Because I was just thinking, probably not today, but eventually there needs to be some visual feedback saying like you got him, you can't hit him anymore. You can't just have like a timer of whatever n seconds in your head. Um, so I'm just setting up the hooks now to subscribe to this in the future. Because if it's event based, I don't have to worry about like, oh, two different timers. This waits 2 seconds, but oh, I had the visual at 1.5 seconds and I decided to change the visual, but I forgot to change it in this other place. No, just subscribe to when it happens. You don't care about anything else about when it happens except that it happened. And you just trust this to work. But yeah, not today. For today, we're just gonna set that invulnerable. So this damage, we're gonna pop out of bug editor mode. Need to double check stuff. But you know, I changed some numbers, so I have to look at an hourglass for 20 seconds. Welcome to the complaining about Unity Twitch stream. I bet I would not be alone in that today. It doesn't really affect me because I'm such small potatoes, you know? If I ever had $200,000 in game revenue, that would be like insanely good for me. Oh, damn, B knocked me off right away. See, that's too much. That can't be an instant death. Yeah, I'm never gonna, or I don't know about never, but I'm nowhere close to getting $200,000 in revenue on a project in a year. But I don't know. It still seems. Oh my god, I got knocked off again. It still seems so dumb to me. How do I make these orbit bees smaller? Taking up too much space. Maybe even one fewer orbit bee. I guess that's in circle. Oh yeah, it's on the prefab in circle. Is where I would change the circle, but just do this. One fewer bee and the bees are smaller, so I just keep getting yeeted like that. But yeah, if I were like that mid-level where, hey, maybe if I work a couple years, you know, because there's a huge lead time of investment on games, right? Like you have to make nothing for years for like a middle or a large size game, to eventually on release, hopefully make a one-time influx that you would then like live off for a time while you're waiting for your future game. But so like in a way, the 200,000 number could be misleading because like yes, in this game in this year where I released a game, I got 200,000 in sales, but I have to live on this for like the previous 2 years and like 2 years to the next game. And a per install license is like so. Just seems like there are so many obvious problems with like piracy. I have no idea how they're gonna do it on web. As someone who like always deploys the web, I'm like, dude, is it gonna be every single refresh? Because if it's every single refresh, maybe I actually a few of my like really popular web games might be in the 200,000 total page loads if that's how they're counting it. I don't know. I think they're gonna backtrack on that. I was already because I'm on like I'd gotten used to a decently old version of Unity here of 2019, just because that's what when I was working a couple years ago, this is the version I found that did not have some web deployment problem I was trying to get around. So I'm like, all right, I'm sticking to this. So I was thinking like, it's about time to transition to a new version of Unity. But with this level of dumbness being showed by the Unity like decision makers, I could instead take that transition time to transition to a new game engine like Godot. I don't know, something to think about. It just seems so I don't know if tone deaf is the right word, but just like it seems like they didn't think it through and they were gonna have huge impact on potentially years worth of people's work. Sucks. I wouldn't want this to be my job. I was like saying earlier today, like if I make a freemium game, right, where I sell skins or something, right, the majority of the people pay $0. If I get 10% of the people to buy $1 worth of hats, right, skins, then I'm only making 10 cents a guy. But if I go big enough, 10 cents a guy might be enough to fund a decently successful game. But now that you have this like arbitrary number of 20 cents per install, and since a guy is now you're paying Unity for the privilege of like providing this game to people. I guess the revenue could come in there. But it just it seems so dumb. Getting distracted though. So that invulnerability worked, I'm pretty sure. We're not seeing any more multi-hits. But the other thing I want to do here is I want to replenish my bees as a part of getting hit. So private void replenish bees. I think in the future I might want to have like an animation here. But for now, I'm just gonna make sure I get to where I want to get. The transition's gonna be rocky, but that's expected. We started with a white circle here. This has been a fairly productive stream. So we're gonna have a rocky transition, but let's just be sure we get to all the bees we want. I think I just want to functionize this, or not this. Wherever we were spawning them before. Okay. Private void spawn orbiters impl. We do I just think I just take this as it is. But instead of knum starting bees, do 2 loops here. First loop starts at 0 and goes to mb or whatever, and orbiting bees dot count plus I. And then we just pick up where we left off there through the rest of the bees we're trying to get to in a second loop to spawn new ones. But in the first pass, we're just going to set their like force override the rotation to be in line with this. Let's just get this coefficient that's the same. Rotation coef is this minus I. Rotation coef. So you float rot equals rotation coef times I. Come on. And I think we probably want another helper that's like setup B, setup orbiter, game object, orbiter. And this, basically. Except it will take the rotation. Okay. So yeah, we have some helper functions now. What's your problem? Oh, you need a return type. That's fair. Setup orbiter. On orbiter's impl. Setup orbiter. B. All right, rotation. I times rotation co. Oh, and here though, orbiting B is M orbiting B's I. Okay. So this is gonna be like a janky forced reposition. I think it'll probably look bad. If when we're doing like the polished version of this, maybe they'll spin inwards and then so they're like all in a single point and you don't notice them. Then when they come back outwards, so if they have swapped. But let's just get the proof of concept here. So we have our health here and we want to subscribe to on damage, on decrease, I guess, plus equals private void on take damage. I want this to be up here. And we will just call when we take damage this function to replenish our orbiters. Yeah, this I don't need. Orbiters. Oh, I have an extra. I'm like, what is messing up my IntelliSense? I had an extra close paren. Let's minimize wall attack here. I'm just trying to. I don't think this is an impulse. This is just set up orbiter. There's no caller. Yeah, just spawn orbiters and start spawn orbiters. Okay, I think this is correct. Let's find out. So the idea here is when we run into the queen bee, do damage, she should go back to 5 orbiters if some have peeled off. Okay, the boys are peeling off, dodging walls. Not really, we're running right through them. Yeah, this wall is gonna have to be so much more forgiving, and it's more than just a timer thing. All right, let's see if we can get her. Oh, what do? We crash or we hit an infinite loop? Probably an infinite loop. Damn. The worst thing you can do in Unity, because the only thing to do is Alt F4. Alright, how is my loop infinite? This is like such a... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's my own fault for writing an infinite loop, but it's such a... Me opening up Task Manager to force quit Unity is not a good ad. Oh man, and that's blocking my thing. Okay, we spawn the orbiters. I is 0, plus plus I. So what's the num starting? Why is this an infinite loop? Is it? I mean, that's the only thing that crashes Unity like that. It's still loading. Maybe if count is like a weird... Oh, this is iterating over the list while we're doing stuff to the list. This is something you're not supposed to do this. Okay, Unity is back. Yeah, I guess this is adding. Oh, I see. Setup orbiter adds to the list where it's not really. It's supposed to be just setting parent and scale and properties and shit. So yeah. So at the end of this, it adds to the list, so the list will always be bigger than we can ever reach. We have to do this. So only add in the case where we're actually instantiating new ones. All right. Hopefully this won't infinite loop again. We'll see. And also, as much as I complain about Unity, I'm glad to see that infinite loop there from my own faults did not lose any data. This has, see, like, this is this full behavior we were dealing with before. It has all this stuff. All right, bouncing into them. Hopefully fixed. Oh, you bastard. Did not work, right? I don't see my bees. I'm hitting him, but I'm not spawning my bees. See if I think I'm... Oh, you know what? They never die. Well, they get removed from the list. Right? I do... Well, I don't know. I think I just got a break in here. I'm guessing what might be happening. Let's just step through. Okay. Get rid of this breakpoint. Hop back into the game. Find our way to the bee queen. Oh, I'm hitting that edge. I think I'm going to get rid of these edges and just treat all of the one-way platforms the same. I wanted the edges as a way to let you ledge grab, but ledge grab doesn't seem necessary. These one-way platforms, because you like just want to jump through them. All right. Count is 5. Why is that? Aren't I removing it? Maybe I forgot to remove it. Ah, yeah, right here. Okay. So those bees were flying off to oblivion, but they were still in our list, so they still had their movement control Coleman enabled and stuff like that. This just needs to go orbiting bees. Not remove at index. Okay. Oh, got hit. Dang it. Dang it. Oh my god, what an embarrassing defeat. I need to give the player that invincibility too. Just a second, half second. Because then that's also a potential upgrade if I'm looking to add more upgrades, which I probably want to like... Oh no, what happened? Index out of range? I think... Is count not like... I need to like... What's the word? Is this like fragmented now? Where there's nothing? It doesn't tell me what the index was. Just debug, log, index, it, and I can't spell. Index to string, count. Don't think about how I'm removing it from this list as long. I know what. I think it might be the case that it's like a fragmented list when I'm removing an index. So like there are 3 things, but they're at index 0, 1, and 5. Then indices 2, 3, 4 are all incorrect. Let's see. Oh, it seems like the count is decreasing. Oh, you know what's happening? It's running out of bees. I just have to add an and. I think bees count is greater than 0. So nothing wrong there. That's kind of working as intended. How was that not crashing before? Oh, because we were never removing them from the list. Okay. All right, so that should be fixed, but we didn't see if the damage was fixed yet. On damage, we want the queen bee to go back to 5 bullets. Hey, it worked. I mean, I guess I should reset the timer as well. That was a bit weird. That the initial second she got her bees, she sent one off, so it like kind of looked weird. So on take damage here, we're also going to reset and leave orbit timer. Okay. Another 5 guys. They're sending one off, sending one off. Okay, I mean, I think we got it, right? I did that quick check there that I hit her. She had like 4, she went back up to 5, didn't go like +5 to 9. I got killed. Yeah, I think we did it. I'm gonna cross that off. Main boss, health, and damage. Okay, the one thing we didn't get today is this orbit attack. Again, the idea is it's kind of a mix of behaviors where they would do a beeline, a beeline. They would do like a beeline for you, right, to like some position offset from you in an orbit. This orbit, right? Then once they get to their like beeline position, they will do an orbit around you regardless of where, like an orbit locked to your position, not locked to you. So you could potentially be over here. So they fly straight at you until they hit their orbit, do one orbit, and then fly away. So the what would be going on here is just, yeah, it's just combining the movements we already have, but it also is like a weird incentive that typically doesn't exist, where if you just stand still, you're safe. So I think that's an interesting element to potentially introduce. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for me for this time. Next time we're just gonna be working on this bee boss a little bit more, do that orbit attack, and a few of the feedback things that are missing, stuff like the invulnerability window, the animation to spawn new bees, damage animation, stuff like that. We're gonna continuing with bee boss next Tuesday. Offline to do is the last bit of platform spawning, splines, and collectibles. Which here, I'll hop into the main game to talk about that. Where do I go? I go to scenes, test. So, I think the platform positions are pretty decent. These like one-way platforms need to be in the shader, so that's something to tweak. But like, this is in a pretty decent spot in terms of like generating a walkable map all the way up to the top. Now I need to like store some additional information so we can get a little bit smarter about spawning things like enemies and collectibles to improve that experience a little bit. But I think this is like getting pretty close to the point where I could stick the boss at the top of this and it'd be an end-to-end level. So we're almost getting there, we really are. But that's gonna be it for me for tonight. Thanks for tuning in for this dev stream of Vine Game. You can if you're looking for more of these VODs or whatever, they're on YouTube under Quiet Bench Zen. Want to follow my development stuff, everything is Quiet Bench Zen. Twitter, itch.io, all those places. And yeah, have a good night.